Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
You are what you watch.
Hello, my name's Hartam Watko, and welcome to our show. Before anything else, our heart goes out to all the people that have been devastated by this terrible, terrible typhoon. All the news, all the hearts of the rest of the country, I guess the rest of the world, lahat po tayo nagdadasal po sa lahat mga natamaan sa bagyo. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the typhoon is really one devastation we have to face. But let's not forget, there are other equally important problems that is just like the devastation that the Filipinos is going through. This is called the PDAF. This is called the DAP. This is called the President's Social Fund. And sometimes I even call it incompetence. We have issues wherein the government says we have all this money and we have all this preparedness, and yet live on TV and as we read them on print and as we hear all the experiences of all the people devastated, it seems we have no money, and yet the President cries out, "Ang dami nating savings." Where do all these billions go? A couple of days before the typhoon hit, we were all goo-goo gaga watching Napoles on TV with the senators who refused to ask the right questions. No doubt the whole country stopped, just like the Pacquiao fights, and wanted to hear what this woman would say. Apparently she said nothing. So I guess the question begs to be answered or asked would be, were the right questions being put out? Nagkakilala ba ang presidente at si Napoles? Nagkita ba sila sa Malacanang yung araw na pumunta siya sa Malacanang? Alas 9 ba ng gabi o alas 12 ng hapon? Ang dami po mga question lumalabas ngayon sa dyaryo. Now, it's very difficult to blame one and point the finger to anybody else, which is what the president seems to be doing. As of late, sinisigawan niya ngayon yung local government, may pagka-incompetence, parating nagagalit, parating nasisigawan. I mean, surely we can't blame GMA anymore about this last typhoon. Hindi na ata pwede. The sad part is, wala talagang pera, walang funds mababa sa local government. Nakita naman natin. Now, as far as mobilization, preparedness, as much as the president wanted, which is what we would have all wanted, 0 casualties, we are now hitting the tens of thousands. I just found it weird or different that local news TV was very slow to report na 4 dead, 3 dead, ngayon 150 dead as of yesterday. When on CNN, mga Amerikano pa pupunta dito, sinasabi 10,000 na mga namamatay. Finally, naglalabasan na sa dyaryo ang katotohanan. But why is it information is being withheld? Ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what we're going to discuss. Now, that's sure. The typhoon, Mother Earth, may have caused this. Agreed. Hindi naman natin pwede pagbintangan si Pinoy dito sa bagyo nito eh. But as far as preparedness is concerned, as far as leadership competence, the ability to mobilize, to reconstruct the lives of those that have been hit, this is what you call leadership. This is where we require leadership competence. Now, when it comes to that, there are many issues that need to be discussed. And as you well know, this is where the Napoles issues come out. At ano. The title, our topic today, you'll find interesting. We call it the HOL-DAP, parang HOL-DAP. HOL-DAP Timeline. Our guest is former Congressman and Director General of TESDA, Agusto Boboy Syjuco. Congressman, maraming salamat po.
Magandang umaga sa iyo.
Well, umaga taping natin. Ngayong gabi lalabas.
Magandang gabi sa iyo, Harry, at magandang gabi po sa lahat. Gaya po ng sinabi ni Harry, tayo po lahat po ng Pilipino sa buong mundo ay nakikiramay sa mga sakuna na nangyari. Lalo na po itong huling sakuna na napakarami din pong namatay.
Dami namatay.
Sinundan po yung sakuna din galing sa Bohol.
Isa pa yon.
So, bakit kaya napakamalas ng Pilipinas ngayon? Bakit kaya halos
Tinitira na talaga, no? Why?
Bakit kaya halos sunod-sunod ang problema? At ang problema ay hindi lamang yung mga pangyayari. Ang mga problema ay yung mga hindi rin nangyayari.
Ayun.
Halimbawa, kamukha nito sa kulang ito, where our heart goes out to our tens of thousands of Filipinos that have been hurt, killed, or whose lives have been gravely affected by these unfortunate events. Bakit ba palaging huli ang gobyerno? Nakita naman natin na anticipate na nga, Hari, na darating na nga itong storm na ito. Okay? Pero hindi naman nakapag-provide ng lahat ng dapat i-provide. Pinakita ng telebisyon, ng media, may mga tao nagtatali ng alambre sa kanilang mga bubong para hindi magliparan yung yero. Okay? Lahat ng precaution na kaya gawin ng tao maliit ay ginawa, pero hindi po natulungan ng gobyerno doon sa precaution na yun. Halimbawa, kung namigay ang gobyerno ng mga kable, imbis na yung mga ting-ting na ginagamit, yung mga napakapayat na alambre na kasimpayat ng ting-ting. Kung halimbawa gumamit, hindi lang nun improvise na mga gamit. Kung halimbawa umikot ang mga taong gobyerno at tinignan lahat ng pwedeng talian at i-providean at yung malamang na mababang lugar na lulubog, kinuha na sana yung tao.
But Congressman, isn't that the real root of our problem, which stems from national government? Because funds are said to be disbursed, and yet we have no idea because we have not been given an accounting of these large amounts that run into billions, if not the trillion now.
Yun nga ang sinasabi ko, Hari, nakakulangan naman ng gobyerno sa mga hindi pangyayari. In other words, dalawang klaseng kasalanan po palagi yan. Yung pong sin of commission at saka yung sin of omission.
Yes, correct.
Yung mga hindi dapat ginawa na mali at yung mga hindi ginawa talaga na dapat naman ginawa. Halimbawa, kamukha nga nito, nagkakarimot ng takbo ang gobyerno. Saan kukuha ng pera?
Correct.
Pati yung illegal na paggamit ng pera ay naiisip ng gawin at ginagawa na mismo.
Ginagawa.
Pwede namang gawin yan lahat niyan na legal. Halimbawa, bakit hindi na budget ito? Simple naman yan eh. Kung let's say in last year's budget, humingi ng budget si President Aquino, ng ilang bilyon pa ba hingin niya? So, kung saan pa bang manggaling yan, Malampaya o kung saan man, na itatabi lang yan para sa mga sakuna, both preparedness, prevention, and relief. Okay? Tatlo yan eh. Sana kung napreparan nila yan, at nandiyan naman ang pera, tsaka alam mo, tinan mo, Hari, ha? I mean, sinasabi nila, maraming savings.
Yes, that's what I keep reading and
Isang
seeing.
katutak ang savings. Baha daw ang Malacanang. Baha ang treasury natin sa savings. Pero pagdating naman ng oras ng paggagamitan, wala ang savings. Hindi na alam kung saan kukunin ang pera. Nagkakarimot sila ng takbo. Pati yung illegal na hindi dapat kuning pera, ay ginagastos nila. Tapos sasabihin nila, total, okay lang gastusin, okay lang gumawa ng illegal, okay lang gumawa ng unconstitutional, kasi kailangan ng tao yan eh.
Correct.
Pero ang problema dito, simpleng-simple lang. Sino ang dapat sisihin? Sino ang nagkukulang dito? Sino ang nagkakamali? Sino ang patulog-tulog lang dito? Pabanjing-banjing lang dito? Simple lang, ang gobyerno.
Correct. Congressman, this whole started You see, whether you like it or not, you were a congressman in Makati first, right?
No, I was the congressman from Iloilo.
Iloilo ever since. Okay. And then you became Director General for TESDA
Yes, for 6 years.
for 6 years. And then you went back and became congressman again for Iloilo.
Yes.
This is the same bailiwick as Senator Drilon. Let me just establish this.
Yes, it
Okay,
is.
okay, now.
It is the same territory as
Let's
Drilon
go back to TESDA. This was during the time of former President Gloria Arroyo.
That's right.
Okay.
I was in her cabinet
Yes,
as
you were in
well.
her cabinet, yes. It seems you have been identified with her, so much so in the last SONA, to my surprise, I fell off the seat when I heard your name come out. I'm sure you felt the same way and fell off your seat. All of a sudden, you were zeroed out at tinira ka na maraming anomalya sa may TESDA. Now, a couple of days later, I watched you on TV. You came out with documents, and you were telling the president, I need to meet with you. You were asking ever so politely, and I will take with me documents to show you. How can there be any anomaly when, to begin with, I didn't even release payment for that. I disapproved it. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is where you were.
Yes, yes, yes.
Diba?
So
Now,
far.
So far, so good. So, anong nangyari? I'm just giving a short timeline. Okay. Then, naiba na yun, nawala na yun, kesa mag-apologize sa yung presidente, things went on, life goes on, and then next, I hear you're in the Supreme Court. Supreme Court. And you're questioning the DAP.
Yes.
Okay? And as of late, you even questioned or you came up with a manifestation saying, dapat mag-gag order muna ang presidente tsaka sila ang kabinete niya instead of going around the countryside before the Supreme Court makes a decision.
Pressuring the Supreme Court. in
Well,
the process.
yes, correct. Which was correct. It seems you're now fighting back to the president, and rightfully so, because if you don't, you will be perceived as talagang palang corrupt to si Boboy. Parang ganun lumalabas. Pero walang sumasagot sa'yo. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That is correct.
Walang humaharap sa'yo.
Walang humaharap.
And in fact,
hindi lang yan. Si Drilon, I've been challenging him
Exactly.
time and time
Yeah.
again. Alam mo, sagot niya, Ari?
political harassment.
Well, yan, political harassment. Normal yan, no? Pagkatapos, ang sagot pa niya, kailangan daw, maging senador muna ako bago siya makipagdebate.
Oh, yeah, I heard that.
Wow! Sobra naman ang taas ng lipad dito ngayon. Ha? Nakikipag-usap lang siya sa senador. Kung natatandaan mo, Hari, there was, in Boston, just a little side dito lang, background. In Boston, there was a family na talagang high up sila, talagang nobility of Boston. Okay? Nga, ang pangalan ng family, si Lowell at si Cabot.
Okay.
Magkamag-anak yan. Ang sabi ni Lowell, the Lowells only talk to Cabot,
Bahayop,
and Cabot only talks to
Lord.
God.
To God.
Parang gano'n si Drilon, ha? Sinasabi niya, ay nako, hindi ka naman senador, bakit ako makikipaglibati sa iyo? Nakalimutan niya kung saan siya nagaling.
I'd like to point out, Congressman, I've known of you and your family since I was a kid because you were a friend of my father. Now, if I'm not mistaken, even before you stepped into government, I think it's good to make this clear because the issues of PDAF and DAP and a lot of erring congressmen and corruption going around, I'd like to point out to the viewers, alam niyo po, the Syjuco family, even before Congressman Syjuco dabbled or decided to go into politics, were already industrialists long ago. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That is correct.
Your father and your family already established industry. Yung bata pa ako, ano na kayo, buenas di pamilya na kayo, but your father was an industrialist way long ago. In fact, you relocated because of the martial law regime.
Yes.
And the Marcoses there pressuring industry and the operators, only to come back when freedom seemed to be the name of the game. That was under
correct.
President Cory's time.
1986.
Yes, 86. And you decided it's time, but this time you devoted your life to politics and helping your constituents in Iloilo rather than rebuild an industry. This is how I met you again.
Yes.
In fact, I met you during when I was starting GNN, and we went to TESDA to try and get films to teach our viewers livelihood projects because that was your baby, so to speak. That's why, if I remember right, that's when TESDA became very popular under your leadership. Now we have all these issues lumalabas. I wanted to clarify that because anong nangyayari nga, only God speaks to Drilon.
Yes.
After all, let's keep him in royalty, and maybe the senators like to talk to each other.
No, I don't
and
think
keep
God
themselves.
speaks to Drilon. It's Drilon who claims he speaks to God.
Yeah, but there are many leaders nowadays that say they speak to God, but they're all disillusioned, no? But either way, leave him as it is. I'd like to point out this information you brought to me, which I find very, very interesting. Maybe we can go through it very quickly and you can expound on it.
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, ito yung timeline. October 2011, ayan, Department of Budget and Management. Nako, si Butchabad to, kaklase ko pa man din. The DAP, nag-umpisa yung DAP. 1 month later, 2011, Nobyembre, nako, the man who speaks to God, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Finance, writes letters to all his cohorts, hindi naman, mga Senado, na, boss, may priority, bigyan niyo sa amin yung mga priority, kung ano requirement niyo para, kasi may pondo rito. In November, mid-November that same year, 2011, several senators decided they submitted the respective priority projects with reference to the request of Drilon. This is so far correct.
Yes, absolutely correct.
Okay, I'll very quick we go. December 12, 2011, the impeachment complaint was filed. Pero tignan mo 1 month before, may pera tayo dito, may pondo tayo. Bigyan nyo sa amin kung ano yung projects nyo. 30 days later, i-file na natin yung complaint. Pero alam na natin, out na si Corona kasi ayaw talaga ni Pinoy si Corona. Finally, in December 14, the Senate convenes. In January 16, 2012 na po tayo, the impeachment trial begins. On May 29, the judges rendered judgment. Down na, impeach na si Corona. August, very quickly, Senators Escudero, Honasan received the first tranche of the DAP accounts, 99 million and 50 million. October 2012, Trillanes, Villar, Angara, Cayetano, Alan Peter, Estrada, Legarda, etc. They received their DAP accounts of 50 million. Congressman, bakit yung iba 100, yung iba 50?
Talagang gano'n, may favoritism. Ang pinakamalaki dyan, yung kinuha mismo ni Drilon para sa kanyang sarili.
Iba pa yun sa kanya?
100.
Iba pa yun.
Ang total
100
kasi
yan.
1.2 billion
Okay.
So, kinalat niya yan, minudmod niya yan, 50 million. Okay. Pero merong exception. Si Escudero is, I think, 90 million, or 98 million, or 97 million.
Correct.
Siya naman, 100. Yung kanya pinakamataas.
Correct.
Siyempre, siyang kumakabig mas malaki natitira sa kanya.
Kayo po, you're in the House of Congress. Regardless of the Speaker of the House, who is the head of the congressman, you're all co-equals, correct? And you work as a collegiate body. Wala naman mas mataas na congressman just because you're a party list, you're from Iloilo, the other ones from Tarlac. Di ba lahat kayo po pare-pareho?
Theoretically, when it comes to the PDAP, the pork barrel,
Opo.
okay, supposed to be
No, but as equals, di ba you're all co-equals?
we're co-equals. However, some others have more allowances than
Yes,
others.
of course.
Yung mga malaking responsibilidad,
May committee na mas
malawak
mataas.
yung mas malawak yung inaayos nilang trabaho. So, mas malaki allowance nun.
But still, you're co-equals. Ganun din sa Senado.
Still, we are co-equals. Ganon din sa Senado.
Oo.
Okay?
Walang mas mataas. Porque
Ang
Senate
PDAP
President ka.
namin, pare-pareho
Pare-pareho.
70 million a year. Regardless of maliit ang distrito mo o malaki ang distrito mo.
Itong nakukuha ng isang tao na mas mataas kesa sa kapantay niya. Pareho din naman. Pareho lang ang mandato niya. Senador din siya. Hindi tama po yun, ano? Parang may mali na doon. Just that act alone. Never mind the source of the funds.
Yes.
The fact that one gets 100.
Pagdating sa DAP o sa PDAP, dapat pantay-pantay.
Pantay-pantay, no?
Ngayon, yung allowances, you can give more allowance to somebody who has more responsibility. Okay?
So-
or you can give a bigger staff to somebody who needs more people.
Who needs more?
Okay lang yun,
The
ha?
project is
Oo.
bigger,
Yun lang
is
ang
higher.
dapat ng diferensya. Pero yung pagkapantay-pantay, anak ng Diyos lahat yan eh.
Yun ang anak na. No less than Senator Miriam Defensor has announced this openly so many times. What makes them bigger, better, brighter, or higher, if not lower, than the next person? Hindi ba, that's illegal by itself.
Well, that's illegal by itself. Pero pagdating sa suhol, okay?
Ibang story at suhol.
Ibang storya na yan. Hindi pantay-pantay pagdating sa suhol. Kasi yung medyo ganun na, doon na ang boto, hindi mo naman kailangan bigyan ng mas malaki yun. Okay? Yung mga critical, na malaking impluensya sa bansa o mas malaking impluensya sa kanyang mga kasamahan, yun mas malaki ang binibigyan ng suhol. At saka siyempre, yung namimigay ng suhol, siyempre si Drilon, namimigay ng suhol sa 1.2 billion, sa kanya 100 million. Doon sa iba, karamihan 50 million.
And we're talking about the people in Visayas who are all struggling, walang ting-ting ang ginagamit, at ang bilyon-bilyon hawak-hawak ng Senado. Alam mo, you're very easy to say suhol. How can you qualify that? Kasi immediately, all these senators are, they're corrupt. If you accept suhol o nagsusuhol ka, you're both corrupt.
Well,
How do you rationalize that?
well, I can only tell you, okay, that it was a bribe because of the timeline. Okay? Wala naman nakalagay dyan na pag tinanggap mo ito, o boboto ka kay boboto ka sa impeachment, tapos tatanggapin mo ito. Okay, wala nakalagay dyan. Pero implied na yon.
Very obvious.
Sa mga tao naman na adults, hindi na kailangan sabihin pa yon.
Suhol.
Kasi, kinreate nila kuno yung DAP sa October, according to the timeline.
Yes,
Okay?
October.
Tapos, November, the next month, sumulat na si Drilon.
Ang bilis na eh.
Ha? Mag-submit kayo ng 50 million na projects ninyo. Okay? So, pagkatapos, nag-submit, sinagot na niya. Okay na. And he started to give it already. Okay? So, pero siyempre, hindi man maibibigay yan. Wala naman sa bayong yan o sa maleta. Okay? May documentation pa yan. So yung pagdating niya sa senador, iba-ibang dates yan. Depende sa pag-submit ng mga paggagamitan ng project. Okay?
Pero more or less, halos 50 lahat and 3 of them got 100.
Actually, dyan ang gagaling ang korupsyon. Yung tinatawag natin korupsyon sa PDAP at saka sa DAP. Kasi pag sila ang may hawak ng pera, okay, miski na padaan pa nila at pinapadaan pa sa mga departments ng executive department, sa mga agency, halimbawa, DPWH, halimbawa, DepEd, pinapadaan pa doon. Pero sila ang pumipili ng kontratista. Sila ang nagsasabi kung kanino ibibigay ang kontrata at kung paano gagawin yung kontrata.
Congressman, miski bigay mo sa government agency, it seems the integrity of many government agencies are already beginning to suffer. For example, the Department of Agriculture under Alcala, who seems to be, hindi pwede, untouchable. Parang si Biaso niyan, untouchable. But nevertheless, miski daan mo sa government agency, the corruption can continue. It can be sustaining, other than just the discretion of the leader or the senator or the congressman supposedly saying, diyan mo'y daan. I mean, the agency itself is already susceptible to corruption, as we have seen with Department of Agriculture very, very openly. Noong pa naman, di ba, 3 years ago, we had the fertilizer scam. Again, DA din yun. So, the corruption can keep going. It can be sustaining from the agency, the line agency, government agency, and then again, the discretion of the senator or the congressman as far as giving the contractor, correct?
Yes.
Sunod-sunod po yan, nakikita. I just want to, let me go on. We're now November in 2012. Most of the senators got it. And in November 2012, Soto together gets the DAP amount of 39 million, Pimentel together with an additional amount of 5 million. I think this is the very same 5 million na he questioned na yung pirma niya lumabas somewhere in Cagayan de Oro where he didn't even realize where the source of the funds came out. So, in December, it continues. The Rilon receives the amount of 100 million, Enrile 92, then Osmeña, Recto, etc., going down. September 25, we're now going to go 1 year later. Estrada delivers his speech, as we all have seen. Dito pumutok ngayon ang tawag nito. Well, in his speech, he says may anomalya dito, may nagbayaran para ma-impeach si Corona. As you all know, napanood po natin si Sexy, ang tawag sa kanya Sexy ni Napoles, na ganito. Bakit ganito 50 million, yung iba 100? Dito ngayon po, ang nangyari, pumutok ang tinatawag na DAP. Kumbaga, nagbukas ng lata na puro uod, naglabasan. Ngayon, hindi na makakontrol ngayon ng Malacanang. Kayo ba, did you know about these 3 letters that were created by Malacanang? You've been a congressman, you've been you've been a G-man most of your life, senior life, di ba? You've been serving, public service ka na eh. Have you ever heard of DAP?
No, no.
Yung time pa when you were even you were a cabinet secretary.
Fictional ito, fiction ito. Okay? There was no such thing as that. Even today,
None.
people are arguing whether it is a fund, a program, or whatever it is. Wala pa pong kulay ang pagkatao ng DAP hanggang ngayon. Hindi pa nila nasasabi. Dahil ito ay gawa-gawain labang.
Fiction.
Fiction. Ni walang presidential decree o presidential communication na ipakita si Abad na pinirmahan ng presidente. Sinasabi lang niya na sinabi ng presidente, i-create yun. Pero hindi sufficiente yung sinabi lang ng presidente. Dapat talaga may documentation.
Okay.
Okay, itong DAP na ito, kumbaga sa Tagalog, Hari, ang tawag dito, singaw.
Okay, let's leave it at that. Congressman, we're at the bottom of the hour. We're going to have to take a short break. So, when we come back, let's delve into the singaw. Ang tawag dito, DAP. Ano ba yan? We'll be right back.